Good morning, this is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated, Journato, morning headlines on April 25, 2023. Sudan conflict explained, what's happening in Khartoum? The Independent, Sudan power struggle, humanitarian situation remains critical. Al Jazeera English, what is happening in Sudan and how many British nationals are being evacuated? Evening Standard, the Irish Times view on the situation in Sudan, a full-scale crisis developing, the Irish Times. The Irish Times, International Edition, Sudan in crisis as its healthcare system heads towards collapse. Ukraine-Russia war, live, Putin's forces using Syria tactics in destruction of Bakhmut. The Independent, Ukrainian military's latest weapons against Russian forces in Ukraine, Russia-Ukraine war, WION. WION, Monday, April 24. Russia's war on Ukraine, news and information from Ukraine. Forbes, Ukraine war S, Russia, US trade barbs at UN. Ukraine holds strategic positions in Bakhmut. CNBC, Russia's deadliest weapons in Ukraine war, hypersonic missiles to tanks, Russia-Ukraine war, WION. Weather tracker, heat wave grips parts of Asia and heavy snow hits Scandinavia. The Guardian, why Asia is suffering from the worst April heatwave in history, DW News. DW News, Thailand seeks to stem power costs as record heat spurs demand. Bloomberg, Thailand issues don't go out warning as heat index hits record 54C. Facebook work filtering posts cost me my humanity. Pakistan, explosions kill 12 in Swat Valley counter-terror office. BBC, at least 12 killed in blasts at Pakistan counter-terrorism office. Al Jazeera English, breaking, Pakistan, 5 killed, 15 injured in terrorist attack at police station, World News, WION. WION, several killed in blasts at Pakistan police station. Al Jazeera English, at least 12 killed in bomb attack on Pakistan police station, building collapses. India's population to surpass China this week, UN. BBC, India overtakes China to become world's most populous country. The Guardian, India to pass China this week as world's most populous nation, UN. Al Jazeera English, India's population boom tells a story of wealth inequality. The Independent, India to surpass China as world's most populous country in April, UN says. UK expected to stop funding Chinese state-linked Mandarin teaching schools. The Guardian, China's Confucius Institutes seek to keep their students in line. Russia-Ukraine war live, risk of conflict between major powers at historic high, says UN chief. The Guardian, Ukraine's Donbas lies in ruins. Could the West have saved it? Open democracy, Ukrainian General Sergei Melnik, only the Russians can change Russia. That's when the war ends. El País USA, Russia-Ukraine war at a glance. What we know on day 426 of the invasion. The Guardian, April 24, 2023 Russia-Ukraine news. Kim Potter, who fatally shot Daunte Wright, freed from prison at 4 a.m. amid fears for her safety. The Independent, ex-cop Kim Potter is released from prison. Daily Mail, Kim Potter, Minnesota cop who killed Daunte Wright thinking her gun was taser-freed. The Mirror, Kim Potter to be released from prison today, placed on supervised release. Voice of Alexandria, Minnesota officer who fatally shot Daunte Wright freed. Trump faces civil trial for E Jean Carroll rape allegation. BBC, Donald Trump to face writer's civil lawsuit over alleged rape. Financial Times, Trump accuses credibility key in defamation trial. Reuters, amid legal onslaught, Trump faces writer's suit accusing him of rape. The New York Times, do not let Trump run for president after the rape trial, Voices. The worst of worst-case scenarios, Western diplomats blindsided over Sudan crisis. The Guardian, what is happening in Sudan? Conflict explained in 5 minutes. The Telegraph, Khartoum is growing emptier by the day. People are describing it as a ghost town. Conflict continues in Sudan. The Economist, Sudan turmoil, there will be no winners in the generals' war. Middle East Eye, opinion, the violence in Sudan is partly our fault. Ukraine war, Kyiv secures bridgehead across Dnipro River, reports. BBC, Russian forces forcibly evacuating civilians in Kherson, says Ukraine. The Guardian, Ukrainian army crosses Dnipro River in Kherson. The Times, Ukraine's military cross Dnipro River as Kyiv looks to launch spring offensive. Evening Standard, Russian shelling as Ukraine forces reportedly cross Dnipro River. Joe Biden tells Sky News he will run for re-election. Sky News, Joe Biden gearing up to announce his rerun for 2024 presidential election, Biden vs. Trump live. CNN News 18, Biden's looming candidacy is a total disaster for the Democrats. The Telegraph, U.S. President Joe Biden to announce bid for re-election, BBC News. BBC News, Joe Biden won't want to throw in the towel now, who wants to be a one-term president. Don Lemon fired, latest news. CNN says hosts claim he was fired, inaccurate. The Independent, Don Lemon, CNN anchor, fired after 17 years on the network. BBC, Don Lemon says he has been fired by CNN. I am stunned. The Guardian, why were cable news hosts Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon ousted? The Independent, CNN fires longtime TV anchor Don Lemon. Sudan News, latest, warring factions agree 72-hour ceasefire as chaotic evacuations continue. The Independent, Sudan crisis, warring sides agree to ceasefire. BBC, Sudanese armed forces and RSF agree to ceasefire starting at midnight, as it happened. The Guardian, Sudan's military agrees to 72-hour ceasefire as France rescues British nationals. The Telegraph, ceasefire underway in Sudan as UK government warned not to miss window for evacuations. Sudan, UK sends military team as it weighs evacuation options. BBC, Sudan, how do countries evacuate people from a war zone? BBC, US says Sudan diplomacy degraded but continues after pullout. Al Monitor, Sudan violence, UK insists contact continues with trapped Britons. BBC, Sudan evacuation, 2 Royal Navy ships placed on standby. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.